clears. There's nothing in the thing, in the input anymore. That's what this line is doing. You're just clearing the value because you already posted that comment, that story. All right. So now that it's saved, and I think node 1 will restart. If you refresh, so if I refresh here, and now I'm going to post a story, and refresh again, my story is here.
By the way, guys, a key step here, which might seem confusing to you, is that after you post, you actually have to refresh the page and see it update on your screen. And I know this seems kind of shitty for a newsfeed, but we're going to work on Friday of next week, actually, using a new framework to make it so it live updates on your screen. But for now, the reason why you have to refresh is because after you click submit, it goes to your database. Your database updates, but there's nothing telling your website to re-render the HTML that it has. So that's why you have to refresh the page and get all the stories again.
All right. So now, however, if I try to post a comment, first of all, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't clear up the text, and even if I refresh, the comments aren't appearing here. So that is what we're about to implement now, and this will be our final step for this. And so the method for comments here would be. Oh yeah. Will be submit comment handler, which is very similar to submit story handler. It's just handling for the comment specifically. So now, first we get the comment input object within our HTML DOM, and we need to send some data, post that comments, and there's one last thing we'll add here, so which we'll get into later. So now, what data are we looking for to post for comments? If you go back to your API.js and look at post comments, the parameters that we're getting from this request are rec body contents and rec body parent. Okay, so we have to add those data right in here. So we have content, and I'll just leave it blank for now, and parents. It doesn't matter which comes first, but I just want to put parents first. So the content is very similar to what we did earlier with the submit story handler. You just have to do comments, input that value. That's straightforward. For the parent, let me see. The parent, we have this thing, which is this get attribute story ID. Yeah, I don't think you would just guess why do we add this. But what actually happens, I'll just open this one right here real quick. So this thing here, new comment DOM object, you're just creating a DOM object and returning it. And there's a lot of things that happen in here, which if you have time, you can look at it too. It's pretty straightforward. The main thing is that right here we say new comments submit add event listener, and on click you call the function submit handler. So there's something in JavaScript where if you do this, the variable this, right here, this, is actually referring to this comment that we just created in the new DOM object. And this comment has an attribute called story ID. Is everyone able to follow what I'm saying right now?
You also don't have to totally follow this.
Yeah.
Like how we actually get the parent, it might be more helpful if you just look at it.
Look at the code, yeah.
It's not really, if you don't understand this, it's not really related to databases at all.
Yeah.
So don't let that confuse you.
And this thing contains the parent, which is the parent that we're looking for. That's what the attribute story ID has. So that's why right here when we say get attribute story ID, we're getting the parent, which is what we're actually trying to send. Okay? And now that we have that, we have our data. We have to add the API endpoint. So does anybody want to guess the API endpoint? Yes, no? All right, I'll just tell you, it's /API/comments. We're posting a comment in our database. So we have to do one final thing. Can anybody guess what we have to do? I'll give you a hint right here. If I try to post a comment and click submit, nothing happens. Yes? Yes. We want to clear this comment section just to actually show that we actually are posting the comment. So to do that, it's very similar to before. Comment inputs that value is equal to empty string. All right. So now that we have it, Node 1 is restarting. Hopefully I didn't add any error into my code. And I'll refresh the page. I refresh the page to get the new content, the new updates with the server. And now if I do hi there and click submit, it actually disappears. But remember, we have to refresh the page. As Aaron mentioned earlier, we're going to learn another framework to help us display changes right away. And if I refresh, now my comment is there. And for now, the user is just anonymous, but we're going to get into that in the authentication lecture. So, is everybody able to get to this screen? Raise your hand if you got here. Does anybody have a question? I can maybe clarify something.
If you guys weren't able to get there, I'm going to do a quick recap of what steps we took right after this.
Yep. All right. And here, this slide are just telling you what to do. They have the solutions. And yeah, so just want to do a really quick recap. So today and yesterday we learned about databases. We created our own MLab. We got our own MLab MongoDB instance, which allows us to create multiple databases and use them for different projects. Ideally, if you have your instance, you should use one database for one project. Within your database, you have multiple collections. Each of those collections will be used for different things based on your project. For us here, we had a collection for story model, for stories, and we had a collection for comments. And they were in separate collections. And so that is it. So finally, I just want to mention one last thing about MongoDB. So someone today asked me, so why do I have to go on MLab to use MongoDB? Can I just use it on my computer? Isn't MongoDB, as it's running, isn't it running on another computer? So should I be able to go on my own computer? And the answer to that question is yes, you could run MongoDB on your own computer. However, it requires some extra setup, and if you're really curious about that, you can come to office hours one day and we'll help you set it up, but you should be fine. And using MLab, and also in general, you would want to use an external database because it's safer. It's always running. You don't have to keep your computer on, and that's just the way it is. Okay? So, yep. And at the end of the slide, there's documentation and further reading if you're curious. And that's it.